high-end Munich show was not only an incredible experience, it made me also discover really interesting products like the Technics SB-C600 that we are going to review today. How it sounds is worth the money. Today I'm gonna take you into it. But before to do this, I like buttons, subscribe to the channels, and let's do it. The compact network CD receiver offers an incredible versatile connectivity, combined with a digital amplifier rated with an output power of 60 watt. That means it doesn't use a digital to analog conversions before the amplification stage, but basically is doing the digital to analog conversions and amplifications at the same time. So let's call it a sort of power DAC, so absolutely interesting. So you can simply stream your music from your service provider or just load on CD. Yes, I say CD player, I still have a lot of them, I'm still buy it, and actually if compare it with some stream service, they have a better quality. It features also subwoofer output, so you can connect your subwoofer to improve the bass performance. And I just reviewed an incredible compact subwoofer, the SVS-3000 Micro. I will let you the link in description. Built-in phono stage for moving magnets cartridges, so you can also connect your turntables. So actually you have everything you need. Compact size, I really love how it's done. It's really beautiful and elegant, and I like this CD open door. It reminds me the PlayStation 1. Of course you will need a little bit of space above it to load the CD. Touch-in display is working great with a beautiful contrast, and is coming with this remote control that is absolutely well done. It has everything you need to remote your network receiver, but as we will see later with your smartphone and the smart app, you can do actually everything and much more. Just two speakers in the Technics lineup with only one color finish available. Why not? I found that this black actually look beautiful with this white stand. The bookshelf speaker SB-C600 features a new coaxial driver, so each woofer and tweeter radiates sounds from the same point or axis. On the tweeter we can admire this, they call it linear phase plug, I hope I'm not wrong. It reminds you something, maybe Sonus Faber. Front bass reflex, so it will make the speaker placement more versatile. So inside a bookshelf or closer to the wall, front bass reflex is absolutely my favorite type of bookshelf speaker. 14 pounds, so pretty heavy, with a front baffle with a matte finish. That look really good. But unfortunately I cannot say the same about the cabinet finish. That look absolutely cheap. There are some imperfections on the corner, and actually on one speaker, the front baffles, you can feel with your finger that there is a small step only from one side. And I'm not finished. The binding posts are pretty terrible. They are short, one of them is rotating, so I don't know what is happening inside also with the cable. So absolutely not a quality for a 1000 baht speakers. And don't tell me that 1000 are affordable, because I have speakers with the half of the retail price that have a better quality. Specs are pretty crazy. Frequency range 40 Hz, 100 kHz, minus 10 dB, with a crossover frequency at 2 kHz. Sensitivity is incredibly low, 83 dB. And yes, they are hard to drive. You will need a lot of power. Tested with the Rotel A11 tripods, no way to drive it correctly. I had to pair it with the Cambridge Audio Edge that has 200 watts to just push it in a correct way. And yes, the Technics receiver, it has all the power that these speakers are need. They recommend minimum 40 watt till 120, but in my opinion they need a little bit more. I found the setup pretty annoying. After download the Technics app, your smart device will not find the network streamer, at least for Android. I didn't test it with Apple. You will need to download Google Home and allow the device localizations. Crazy, and I really don't understand it. Absolutely no sense. Anyway, Technics app is well done and is working great. I never had any problem. It's easy to understand and well structured. It supports only Spotify, Amazon Music, Tidal and Deezer. No keyboards or Roon available, but it has a Bluetooth only AAC and SB-C, AirPlay and Chromecast compatibility. So it's looked at doesn't have any aptX compatibility, and I tested the Bluetooth, it's fine, but if you have the possibility, go with networks. It will give you an incredible better quality. From the settings it's possible to adjust some basic tones like balance, bass and treble. We can find also space tunes for the speaker placement, but I really don't know how it's working and what it's doing. Something not clear from Technics. I can describe the sound quality only with one word that actually make what is positive in these systems useless, and is fatiguing. Don't get me wrong, it's not bad, it's just that I can't hear these systems for more than 2 hours, resulting in a negative experience rather than something relaxing. But let me break it down. Lower bass is strong and weighty and has a superb impact that gives authority to any musical source. Doesn't extend its performance also in the sub-bass area, but I never, and say never, had the feelings that I was need a subwoofer with this speaker. They play really loud and I really can't understand how a small speaker like that can play in this way. Mid bass is warm with a lot of fast and tight slam, probably with a touch of pleasing colorations. Make it instruments like cello, bassoon, trombone, bass drums and toms sounds plentiful, defined and solid. Also deep voices like Barry White are ultra realistic and full of textures. Textures that unfortunately is not on the same levels in the low bass. It's producing sometimes a sort of, I can describe it with a M sound, this M bass, like a bass that is trying to singing instead to put out air. That result sometimes not always fatiguing, unnatural and maybe annoying. Bassline in tracks like for example Satin Dolls of Alexandra Lawrence or Eugenio Cicero Solfeggio in C minors are a good example of a M sound bass tonality rather than something round and with a good accuracy and textures. Mid-range transparency is superb. Voices and instruments are ultra clear and clean. So much that probably you will need a little bit of time to really appreciate it. The first time that I tried to enjoy the systems what sounds to me probably unnatural, unrealistic, but after a little bit of times I really appreciate this transparency and cleanness in the instruments, timbre, that are not harmonically rich but maybe reproduced how the artist intended. Instrument separation is good together with a pinpoint center imaging. Voices could result sometimes slightly projected in your face, not so much, a little bit. Like for example in Gravity of John Mayer. But I could appreciate details that I never heard before, like John Mayer breathe during the songs. Something that I said, oh, that was nice. So absolutely great textures. Treble, for my personal taste, is too bright and fatiguing. But something good is that from your smart device and Technics app, you can personalize it. I generally give a -4 to the treble to let the mid-range shines a little bit more. Without, for example, in jazz music, cymbals are too loud, too forward compared to other instruments like sax or trumpet. Something that I noticed, for example, in Jazz Peña, beautiful ACT first record, with special guests like Michael Brecker and Aldi Meola. I did a video about ACT records, also will let it in descriptions. Take a look of it. I think that is really interesting. In other tracks, like You Must Believe in Springs of Bill Evans, a slightly noisy recording that with a -4 on trebles will make all piano notes clean and shines. So nice to see that we can touch a little bit the trebles on the network receiver. I forget it has also headphones output, but I start to test it with the planar magnetics headphones like the Dan Clark Ion 2, incredibly hard to drive headphones, so my expectations was low and confirmed because impossible to drive it with this receiver. So I moved to something a little bit easier like the hifi Man Sundara, also planar magnetic headphones, and unfortunately again no way to drive it, just distortions. Next one, Sennheiser 800S. No audible distortions at low, mediums volumes, but bass was weak and lacking punch and authority. So I say, okay, let's move to something really basic like the Sennheiser HD560S. Slightly better, no audible distortions, also when drive it loud, but I couldn't enjoy the overall sound signature that present a poor musicality and balance. So the headphones output, for me at least, is absolutely a fail. For on stage I retested with the new Ergon Audio Turntables TT4 fitted with orthophone red. Review coming soon. First I connected the turntables using the internal phone stage of the TT4. So I connected the output of the turntables to the line-ins of the receiver, Technics. And in a second moment I moved to the phone stage of the receiver. I have to say that actually I was not disappointed from the phone stage of the Ergon Audio, but the first things that you probably want to do when you buy a turntables is had a good phono stage. Also something like that, we have here the hifi phono stage, highly affordable, review coming soon. And with something like that, it will give just life to your turntable. Anyway, I didn't need to test it in these configurations because the phono stage of the Technics, it worked absolutely great. I really like it. These are 3 records that I ran it in these configurations. Prince, Purple Rains, really beautiful. AVC 2019, also a great record, love it. And this is a ACT record, Wolfgang Hafner Dream Band. So moving from an internal basic phono stage to the Technics one was an improvement in everything. Soundstage, dynamic, impact, tonality, timbre, voices extensions. Just they did a good work. No blind test needed and I was really satisfied. So in the end there is any doubt that this receiver, network, CD player, amplifier, all-in-one is the perfect partner for this speaker. It has all the power that this speaker needs and the basic equalizations will help to give a less fatigue tonality. I have to say that I was pretty disappointing from the construction quality. It's not bad, I mean the buffer is absolutely beautiful, but the cabinet, I didn't like it. There are very small imperfections and I don't understand this binding post. Nothing serious, but yes, I was expecting the old speaker with the front buffer finish that look really beautiful. We have a tuning that for sure will make a lot of people happy because they have a great vibe and they are very funny to listening. But in my opinions, they are slightly bright and fatiguing. I'm not considering this a negative review because not everything that is far away from my personal taste has to be negative. When you review gears, it's really important to address some things rather than give your personal opinion. Network receiver is a beautiful all-in-one, compact, it has all what you need and the applications is working great. Of course, as soon you understand how to do the setup. It's a system that is incredibly easy to use for any family member and I like this. The only negative point is the headphone output. It's absolutely a fail for me. Probably was better to let it without and save some money. Okay, this was my review of the Technics systems. More affordable, compact systems are coming, so stay tuned. From the audience everything, subscribe to the channels, hit the like button and see you soon.